perspectives.
Hi, girls. Today I am going to talk about The Client by John Grisham. The first thing that you need to know is that the author used to work as an attorney and legislator. I think that he used his experience in this area to write about these type of things like laws and crimes. And he has written over 40 books. I really wish I had the ability of writing without being redundant, but I think that it is impossible. I can almost talk for an hour and I am going to say the same. um, then after he worked as a legislator, he became a best-selling novelist. Right now, he is known as the legal thriller master. And right now, I am going to tell you a little bit about the book. The name of the book is The Client. It was published in 1993. And the book, it is about a couple of brothers, and the older one, his name is Mark. He is 11, and the other boy, the younger brother, his name is Ricky, and he is 9 years old. And they were trying to find a place to smoke. Imagine that they were too young, but they wanted to smoke, and they were looking for any place in the middle of the crops. But the older brother, he noticed that it was a cart, and into the cart it was a man, and so he was curious, and he tried to look for what was happening, and he talked with the man who was inside the car, and the name of the man who was inside was Jerome Clifford, and he was a lawyer, and he was the lawyer of a member of the mafia. And they talk about a lot of things. The lawyer, he was drunk, and also he was trying to commit suicide. And Mark, he tried to convince him to change his mind, but he was not able. After the lawyer told Mark a lot of things about why he was trying to commit suicide, he committed suicide. And Mark and his brother, they were so scared, and they tried to back to their house, and they lived in a trailer because they were poor. And when they came to their house, they called the police. Mark called the 911, and he told like, I found a body in the middle of the crops, I don't know. And then when the person who was calling with him asked him for his name, he didn't answer, and it was a little bit suspicious because he didn't have nothing to be scared about, but he didn't say his name, so it was a little bit weird. But when they found the body, the police found the body, they had a lot of questions because they thought that Mark, he was hiding something. And also the younger brother of Mark, he was in shock because he saw all the things that happened. He saw how the lawyer, he committed suicide. And so the mother of Mark and Ricky decided to went to the hospital with Ricky. And while they were in the hospital, a lot of things happened that I am going to tell a little bit more about that soon. So it is something like a little bit about the story. I think that it is such a good story, and It is great because the plot grabs you to read and don't stop until you finished it. So I am going to talk about crime, suicide, loud, and how they are related to the story. And crime. The first thing that you need to know it is what is crime. Crime, it is an act that is in breach of the law. And in the story, we can see a lot of types of crimes. The first one, it can be maybe about the lawyer, and he was trying to escape because he was, as I told you, he was the lawyer of a mafia member, and he knew that his client killed the senator, and he was scared about because the body of the senator was hidden in his house, and he noticed if the police knew about that, he will be in troubles. So he was scared about that. And then, as I told you, Mark was in the hospital with his mother and his brother, and the FBI came to this place and asked him about what he saw and what he knew, but he was scared about that. So I don't know why, but he found a lawyer, and it was a girl, and she told him that he needed to have a lawyer. So he hired her, and she was a great lawyer because she gave him like the opportunity of hire her for only $1, and he was like, I think that she knew that he was poor, so he gave it the opportunity of hire her for only $1. But and when the FBI was trying to ask Mark some questions, they lied because he asked like, do I need a lawyer? And they told like, no, you don't need any lawyer. We're only going to ask you some questions. Don't worry. And he was alone. His mother wasn't there. So it was another lie. And it was because they wanted to know the truth about how he discovered Jerome, the lawyer. So they lied. And then I'm going to tell you about suicide and why he decided to commit suicide. I'm talking about the lawyer. I think that he was scared because he discovered that the body of the senator was hidden in his house. Imagine that, like you have a body of someone in your house. It can be a little bit scared. And it was dangerous because he knew that if he said something about his discovery, his client will kill him, and because he was a member of the mafia. So he took the decision. He took the decision, and he thought that it was the best option. Like maybe he thought that it could be less pain if he committed suicide than being killed by someone. So he decided to suicide. And last thing is Lao. What do I think that it is related with Lao, the book? And in the photo you can see the lawyer, and the name of this lawyer was Reggie Lover. She was the lawyer, as I told you, that she was hired by Mark for only $1, and he was such a great person, and she was awesome. And the important role of love in the story, and Mark, he was scared about telling the truth to the police and to the FBI. So in one moment he thought that perjury was a good option. Perjury is it is a crime of lying under oath, because you are in front of the judge and a lot of people, but you lied about what did you saw and a lot of things. So he had this option, like, and Reggie told him that it wasn't good because if he said something that was not true, he will had a lot of troubles. So he changed his mind. And Lau, as I told you, Mark needed help. He knew that he was in a hurry, so he looked for a lawyer, as I told you, Reggie, and she helped him a lot. And he was Reggie. And you know, in one part of the book, it said that she was 42 years old and she only had 5 years being a lawyer, and I was surprised about that. And it made me think about what happened with her life and why she decided to become a lawyer. But one part of the book, he said that she used to go to the to talk with the men who used to be in charge of children, like of the judge of children, and finally they resolve it. They try to resolve it at the best way. In the last part of the book, Mark, he noticed, or he realized that maybe Jerome could lie. So he said Reggie to go to the place and see if it was true that the body of the senator was in his house, and it was there. So he said the truth, and and his family were translated to Australia because he had like this type of idea. But it is a great book, and I remember that I looked for any phrase of the book, and it was a phrase that caught my attention. And it is amazing how lives grow. You start with a small one that seems easy to cover, then you get books and you tell another one, then another. People believe you at first, then they act upon your lives, and you catch yourself wishing you had simply told the truth. And this phrase is true. If you said one lie and then it came bigger and bigger and bigger. So in conclusion, I am surprised about how brave Mark was. He was like, I didn't expect that a boy of his age was so brave about this situation, and he only knew about these type of things because he liked to watch movies about mafia and those things. But I think that the best option is always say the truth about all the things that you do. So that's all. Thank you so much. And I don't know if do you have any questions?
Congrats, Chelsey, for your presentation. And yes, I have a question. And what was your favorite part of the story?
Maybe the part where I told you that Mark hired Reggie for only $1 because it showed that Reggie, she had a really big heart, and she was really happy about help Mark. And I think that it was my favorite part.
I have another question. If you had been Jerome, would you have committed suicide? What do you think?
I'm not sure. I don't know if he had committed another crime before, like, or maybe only working as a lawyer of a member of the mafia. I don't know if he was implicated on the crimes that his client did. So I'm not sure. But I think that sometimes we have another options. Maybe he tries to avoid all this job or maybe all those things, and he preferred to committed suicide. So I don't know, maybe you can do a lot of things to avoid that situation.
I have a question, Chelsea. Would you like to read another book written by John Grisham?
Yes, when I was looking the information for my presentation, I found that he had a lot of books about laws and crimes, as I told you, and I looked for the book, The Fear, and also it has a movie like this book, The Client. It is a movie, so maybe I would like to read the film. So, thank you.